Hi, I'm Vlad, and here's a new story from my channel It Doesn't Happen. Dima, don't forget the food in the container. And no adventures. Okay. There's heartburn medicine in the left pocket of your jacket. And I'll call you every night to check on you, Eva said with a smile. Don't worry so much. I'm going on a business trip, not to the ends of the earth. Of course I'll miss you, and Max. It's a shame he's still sleeping, but I'll call you both as soon as I can. He kissed his wife on the forehead and hugged her tightly, like he wanted to hold on to her warmth for the long days ahead. Okay, but if anything happens, call me right away. Take care of yourself, and I'll look after our son, Eva said. You're the best. Well, it's time. I have to go. The car is here. Remember, we're waiting for you, Eva said as he got into the taxi, headed to the airport. She closed the door and leaned against the wall with a deep sigh. The quiet in the house felt strange and a little scary. She suddenly felt alone, even though just minutes ago she was full of energy. Dima's business trips were always tough, but this time she had something else to worry about, an important job interview. At 10 a.m., she had to be at the office of one of the best private clinics in the city. As an experienced gynecologist, Eva had dreamed of working there. A job at Eden Clinic meant more than just a great career. It also meant financial stability. With the extra money, she and Dima could finally save up to buy their own place instead of living with her mother-in-law. Her thoughts were interrupted by the doorbell. She opened the door. It was her mother-in-law, Klavdia Andreevna. Usually, she looked grumpy, but today she had a strange, sweet smile on her face. Hello, little Eva, she said, walking in and heading straight for the kitchen. So, did you send off your breadwinner? Yes, he just left, Eva replied. Good. God willing, everything will go smoothly. She poured herself a glass of water and walked over to little Max, who had just woken up. My sweet boy, how you've grown, she said, stroking his hair. I'm like a mushroom, growing fast. Max giggled. You're getting ready for work, right? She said to Eva. I saw Dima yesterday. He told me you have an interview. Yes, I'm going to get ready soon, Eva said. Good. Those jobs probably pay better. But I was thinking, who's going to stay with Max while you're gone? Eva froze. She hadn't thought of that. She planned to ask the neighbor, but hadn't made any arrangements yet. I thought maybe a nanny, Eva started. What nanny? You don't need a stranger in your house. I'll take Maximka to my country house. He'll get some fresh air, and you can focus on your interview. She said it like she was doing Eva a big favor. But Eva knew her mother-in-law rarely did anything without a reason. Are you sure, Klavdia Andreevna? I don't want to trouble you. Trouble? Not at all. I'd love to. You know I adore my grandson. It'll be good for you too. You'll have time to rest and get ready. An interview is serious. You need to be at your best. Eva was shocked. Her mother-in-law was actually being nice? That felt like something out of a dream. Usually, Klavdia Andreevna tried to make their lives harder, not easier. She always interfered in everything. Thank you. I don't even know how to say it, Eva said. No need to thank me, her mother-in-law replied. I'm happy to help. I just want everything to go well for you. I worry about you. Okay, let's pack Maxim's things and go. The train leaves in 30 minutes. Eva agreed. She quickly packed a small bag for her son. Klavdia Andreevna took Max by the hand and headed to the door. Well, we're off, she said, waving without even looking back. Don't be bored. I'll call when we arrive. Bye, Mommy, Max shouted. Bye. As the door closed, Eva felt another wave of emptiness. Now her son was gone too. She made herself a cup of coffee and sat down to go through her notes again, trying to prepare for the job interview. When it was almost time, she checked her watch and decided to take out the special dress she'd bought just for this day. It was soft, sky blue silk and looked great on her. She took it off the hanger and looked it over carefully. It was beautiful. She'd made a good choice. But then something seemed off. The zipper looked uneven. The dress was sticking out in a weird way. At first, she didn't think much of it. But as she looked closer, she saw the zipper had been cut. Not torn, cut cleanly all the way down. It was barely holding together with a few loose threads. Eva imagined the horror of showing up to her interview in a dress that might fall apart. She wouldn't be able to zip it up, or worse, it might come undone right in front of everyone. No, it must have been a mistake, she whispered. But then she thought, or maybe someone did it on purpose. Who would do such a thing? Her mother-in-law's face popped into her mind. That strange smile, the sudden kindness, the way she insisted on taking Max away. Then Eva remembered something else, how Claudia had come into her room earlier to put away Dima's jacket, which was lying on the sofa. Eva hadn't thought anything of it at the time, but now it all seemed to fit. Could her mother-in-law really have done this? Sneaked in and ruined the dress while Eva was distracted?
But why?
What was she trying to prove? Eva grabbed her phone and dialed. No answer. She tried again. And again. Nothing. She forced herself to stay calm. Stop it. Focus, she said out loud. There was less than an hour left before the interview. She had to find something else to wear, fast. She checked her wardrobe, but nothing looked right for such an important meeting. Then she noticed a bag on top of the closet. Inside was a dress she'd once bought on sale and never really worn. It was a bit big, but right now it was her only choice. She ironed it quickly, put it on, fixed her hair, and did her makeup. It wasn't the look she had planned, but she still looked presentable. Grabbing her purse, she saw the time. She was already running late. She rushed out the door, practically running through the streets, wishing she had just called a taxi. Her mind was racing. Thoughts of the ruined dress, her mother-in-law, and the interview all swirled around her. She still couldn't understand why Claudia Andreevna would do something like that. Eva couldn't believe it. Her mother-in-law had seemed so supportive about the interview. Was it all just an act? A trick? Why would she do that? Didn't Claudia Andreevna want her own son to live a good life? Didn't she want them to have their own home? Eva had no answers. All she knew was that something between her and her mother-in-law felt wrong. She arrived at the clinic 10 minutes early. Her heart was racing. She tried to calm herself down, but the nerves wouldn't go away. A secretary met her and led her to the director's office. A man, around 50, with gray at his temples and kind eyes, stood up to greet her. Hello, I'm Artur Valerievich. Glad to meet you. Please have a seat. Eva sat down and smiled nervously. Hello, I'm happy to be here. You have a very impressive resume, he said. But first, I'd like to know, why did you choose our clinic? His eyes sparkled with curiosity. Eva started to talk about her dreams, her experience, and how much she wanted to work there. She spoke with passion, believing in herself. Artur Valerievich listened carefully. Sometimes he asked questions, sometimes he just nodded, clearly interested. But in the back of her mind, Eva couldn't stop thinking about her dress. It was old, and not what she had planned to wear. Would it hurt her chances? The interview finally ended. The director stood up and smiled. You impress me. Your experience and passion show you're an excellent doctor. But unfortunately, we already have someone in mind for the position. He's related to one of our sponsors, so as you understand, we can't hire you. I'll keep your number and maybe call you when something opens up, he added. Eva didn't say anything. She stood up, eyes down. I understand. Thank you for your time, she said softly. She walked out of the office in silence. The secretary gave her a look full of sympathy. As soon as Eva stepped outside, she couldn't hold it in anymore. She started to cry. All her dreams and hard work, gone in a second. Not because she wasn't good enough, but maybe because someone wanted to ruin it all. She picked up her phone and called her mother-in-law again. This time, someone answered. Hello, girl, is that you? Claudia Andreevna. Why did you do it? Why did you ruin my dress? There was a long pause. It felt endless. What are you talking about? What dress? You've gone crazy. Don't act like you don't know. I know it was you.
Why?
You knew how important this interview was to me. I don't know anything about any dress. I'm here with Maxim. And if you have nothing better to do, don't bother me, she snapped and hung up. Eva stood there with the phone in her hand, stunned. She knew now she could never trust her mother-in-law again. She started walking through the city, not even watching where she was going. Thoughts about her husband, her son, the lost job, and her broken trust swirled in her head. She decided to call Dima. The phone rang for a long time, but finally he answered.
Hi, Eva.
I'm at the airport. The flight's delayed. I'll call again as soon as I can. Okay, I'm waiting, she said, trying to keep her voice calm, to hide the pain. Are you okay? You sound a little off. Yeah, I'm just tired. I miss you. I want you to come back soon. I miss you too. Hang in there, it won't be long now. Gotta run, they're boarding. Okay, talk soon. She hung up and started crying again. She didn't tell him what happened.
Not now.
Why start a fight between him and his mother? It wouldn't help anything. She walked home feeling drained, like all her energy had been squeezed out. She hadn't even worked today, but she felt exhausted. Her shoes, the ones she threw on in a hurry that morning, were now pounding against the pavement, sounding like the rhythm of her broken dreams. As she neared her building, she noticed someone sitting on a bench near the entrance. It was her neighbor, Nina Pavlovna. The elderly woman lived alone since her husband had left her. She sat with her head down, slowly turning her mailbox, keys in her hand like she'd forgotten what they were for. Hello, Eva said, forcing a smile even though she felt like crying inside. Are you okay? The neighbor asked, looking up with tired, sad eyes.
Hi, sweetheart.
I lost my house key, said the old woman with a sigh. I just can't remember where I put it. I'm sitting here, hoping it'll come to me. Eva looked at her kindly. How long has it been missing? Maybe we should go check around again. No, I already did. I went to the market, the pharmacy, no one saw anything. Yesterday, I was at the country house. I got home late, and the key was just gone. She waved her hand sadly. It's okay, don't worry. Eva tried to comfort her. Let's just call a locksmith. He can change the lock for you. Oh, no, not possible, the old woman said, shaking her head. My door is built like a tank. She paused, lowered her eyes in embarrassment, then continued. It was all Vasenka, my late husband. He built everything in this house himself. He used to say, our home is our castle, so the door had to be extra strong. He built it right into the wall. If someone tried to break it down, they have to tear the whole wall apart. I don't have the energy for that kind of thing anymore. Eva didn't quite understand what she meant, but kept listening. You can't just sleep outside, Eva said. Oh no, of course not, the old woman waved her off. It's just, well, my friend Nura told me you're a hypnotherapist. You know, the kind of doctor who helps people remember things under hypnosis. So, I thought, maybe you could help me remember where I left the key? I know it's in my head somewhere. I just can't reach it. Eva hesitated. She didn't like using her skills on friends or neighbors. It was something her late grandmother had warned her about. But looking at her sad, tired neighbor, Eva just couldn't say no. All right, she said softly. But let's go to my place first. You need to be relaxed, and you have to completely trust me. 5 minutes later, they were sitting in Eva's living room. She turned on soft music and lit a calming scented candle. Okay, Eva began. Just relax. Take a deep breath in and out. Feel your body getting lighter. Let go of everything. Your arms and legs are heavy, but don't fight it. Just relax. Her voice was soft and steady, soothing, like a warm blanket. Nina Pavlovna closed her eyes and slowly slipped into a deep, peaceful state. Now imagine this, Eva said gently. You're walking down your street to buy some bread. You go into the store. You see shelves of food, a cashier. You walk to the counter, open your bag, and reach for your wallet. What do you see? Suddenly, the old woman spoke in a calm, dreamy voice. I see the key. It's on the counter, right next to the cashier. I took it out with my wallet and forgot to pick it up. I left it there. Eva smiled. Once again, her gift had helped someone. Now, she continued, imagine leaving the store. You go home. You check your pockets, your bag, but the key isn't there. She gently brought Nina Pavlovna out of the trance. The old woman blinked, looked around, and then suddenly jumped up from the chair. I remember. I left the key at the store. You saved me. Thank you, dear. She hugged Eva tightly, kissed her on both cheeks, and rushed to the door. Nina Pavlovna, wait. Eva called. Where are you going? But it was too late. She was already out the door. Eva smiled. Looks like the hypnosis worked perfectly.
Just then her phone rang.
It was her friend Katia. Hi. Eva answered, trying to sound cheerful even though she was still hurting inside. Hi, Eva, Katia said.
How are you?
How did the interview go? I was so worried. I couldn't get in touch with you. Eva sighed. It didn't go well. I didn't get the job. Oh no, Katia said with real sympathy. That's such a shame. Don't be upset. You'll find something better. You're talented. I don't know what really happened, Eva said, hesitating. They said the position was already taken, but it felt like something else was going on. Wait, something else? What do you mean? Katia pressed. Eva, talk to me. What really happened? Eva paused for a second, then finally told the truth. She explained the whole story, how her dress was ruined, how she had to wear an old one instead, and how she was rejected. I knew it, Katia snapped. It's your mother-in-law. I've said this before. Every problem leads back to her. She was the last person in your apartment before the interview, wasn't she? So, it could only be her, Katia said. Maybe, Eva replied, shaking her head. But I really don't believe she would do something like that. She's my husband's mother. Oh, Eva, you're so naive. Like a little girl. Do you think a mother-in-law is always sweet and loving? She's not your mom. Katia laughed. Maybe she's just jealous. You're young, beautiful, and you took her son. Maybe she wants you to be just as unhappy as she is.
But why?
What is she even unhappy about? Eva asked, confused. Because no one needs her anymore. She hasn't achieved anything, and now you come along, full of ambition, not wanting to sit at home like she did. You want to grow and work. She sees that, and it bothers her. It's hard to believe, Katia, Eva said, still unsure. She was so nice. She even offered to take care of Maxim. Does that sound like someone who wants to hurt me? Exactly. That's the point, Katia exclaimed. She probably wanted you out of the house all along. Eva didn't know what to say. Maybe her friend was right. But what should I do now? She asked. Forget the interview. Forget her, Katia said. You'll find another job. And just be careful around your mother-in-law. Don't trust her too much. Thanks, Katia, Eva said with a small smile. You always support me. Of course. I have to go now, my boss is waiting.
Talk soon. Bye.
Eva put down the phone and let out a deep sigh. Katia's words were starting to get to her. She didn't want to believe that her own family could be against her, or that her husband didn't see what was going on. She walked over to the dresser and picked up a photo of herself with her grandmother, Varvara Petrovna. Holding it close, she imagined her grandmother's warmth, her smell, and her smile. Grandma, she whispered. You were right. I really don't understand people. Why are they like this? Memories rushed in. She remembered how her grandma taught her everything about their craft when she was little. Varvara Petrovna didn't like being called a fortune teller. She saw herself more as a guide. She could see the future, but never for her own family. Still, little Eva would ask, Grandma, will I be happy? Will I be rich? Her grandmother always answered, I can't tell you that, sweet girl. You have to walk your own path. I can only teach you to be strong and to see what others can't. Varvara had always known Eva had a gift. She saw things in her dreams and could sense danger. But her grandmother didn't want her to depend on her gift. Deep down, she hoped Eva would become a doctor and use her abilities to help people. Finish school. Go to medical school. Forget about all these predictions, she used to say. They don't always help. I knew your mother was in danger, but I still couldn't save her. A terrible illness took her from me. That's why all my hope is in you. Eva often remembered those words, and now more than ever, she realized her grandmother had been right. In the end, Eva became a doctor and started helping people. But her ability to see the future never went away. It just stayed inside her, quietly waiting for the right time. Now, as she looked at her grandmother's photo, Eva felt something shift inside her. She started thinking, maybe her mother-in-law wasn't just jealous. Maybe she was just a woman scared of losing her son, scared that he might love Eva more than his own mother. It wasn't something Eva could prove. It was just a feeling deep inside. She looked at the dress again, still hanging there. The soft blue silk almost felt like it was mocking her lost hopes. She touched the fabric, and it made her feel a tightness in her chest. "So beautiful, and it would have looked so nice on me," Eva whispered. Then she took a deep breath. "Crying won't help. I have to move forward." She gently took the dress off the hanger and folded it. She decided to take it to the tailor. Maybe the broken zipper could be fixed, and maybe the dress could still have its moment. Eva was about to start making dinner when the phone suddenly rang. It was a number she didn't know. Normally, she wouldn't answer, but something told her she should. "Hello, I'm listening." "Hello, this is Artur Valerievich, the head doctor," said a serious voice on the line. Eva was surprised.
Oh,
"Hello again. I wasn't expecting your call. Is something wrong?" "Eva, I want to apologize for what happened this morning," he said. "I made a decision too fast. I think you deserve a chance." A chance? Eva couldn't believe what she was hearing. "But you said the position was already taken?"
there was another candidate, he said.
"But he's unsure. You made a strong impression on me. I see talent in you. I'd like to offer you an internship." "An internship? But you said there were no open jobs." "That's true," he said slowly. "But we can figure something out. I want you to work with the young man I mentioned earlier, kind of as his assistant." Eva felt a wave of anger rise in her. "You want me to work under someone who only got the job through connections?" "I understand how that sounds," the doctor said gently. "But please don't jump to conclusions. I can't hire you full-time yet, but this is a way to start. If you prove yourself, I'll make sure a place opens up for you."
Eva thought about it.
Yes, it was unfair. Yes, it felt insulting to work under someone who took her spot. But it was a real opportunity. "And what are the chances they'll keep me after the internship?" she asked. "If you do well," he said, "your chances are very good. I can't promise anything, but I'll do everything I can to help you stay." "All right," Eva said softly. "Let's try." "Great," the doctor replied. "A taxi will come to pick you up soon. I want you to meet your colleague today while I'm there. We're looking forward to seeing you." Eva hung up and let out a long breath. Yes, the offer wasn't perfect. It felt a bit humiliating. But inside, she felt a spark of hope. Finally, she had a second chance. Now, she just had to make sure not to waste it. Eva went back to her closet to pick something else to wear. She quickly put away the dress she had worn that morning. It felt unlucky somehow. This time, she chose something simple, but nice. A black pencil skirt, a white blouse, and a light cardigan over her shoulders. The outfit looked neat and classy. She fixed her hair, and when the taxi arrived, she left the house. As arranged, the driver took her straight to the clinic. Inside, she was greeted by the same secretary. "Good afternoon again," the girl said with a friendly smile. "Artur Valerievich is waiting for you. Please go in." Eva walked into the office.
Artur Valerievich was sitting at his desk.
Across from him sat a young man, about 20 years old, wearing an expensive suit that fit him perfectly. Just by his clothes and the way he sat, Eva could tell. He came from a rich family. "Here is Eva Alexandrovna," Artur Valerievich said, standing up. "I'm glad to see you again. Let me introduce your colleague, Herman Viktorovich." Eva reached out her hand to greet him, but the young man didn't respond. He sat with his head down and didn't look at her. "Herman," said the doctor gently, "this is your colleague. You two will be working together." "Hello," Herman mumbled, stuttering slightly. That's when Eva realized why he had stayed so quiet. He had a stutter. She looked at him with surprise. A hypnotherapist who stuttered? How could he put someone into a trance if he had trouble speaking? "Hello, nice to meet you," Eva replied politely. "Well then," said Artur Valerievich, "I think you two must work together. Herman, I want you to learn from Eva, and Eva, I want you to help Herman. This internship will last a month. If both of you do well, I might be able to keep you here." But before he could say more, Herman suddenly looked up. Eva saw pain and worry in his eyes. "I'm afraid I won't be able to work with patients," Herman said. "Herman Viktorovich," the doctor said, walking over and placing a hand on his shoulder. "We understand your situation, but you can't give up so easily. You're a talented young man. You have potential. I believe Eva can help you. She's a doctor." Herman looked at Eva with hope. "Do you really think I can work with you?" he asked. "I think so," Eva said. "We'll work together. I'm sure we'll find a way to understand each other." She knew it wouldn't be easy, but something inside told her she had to help. "All right," said the head doctor. "I'll leave you two alone now. Take some time to talk and plan how you'll work together. I'll see you both tomorrow at 8 a.m. He left the office, and Eva was alone with Herman. "Thank you for wanting to help me," Herman said. "You don't have to thank me," Eva smiled. "I'm just doing my job." "I'm just a specialist and I really want to stay at this clinic," Eva said. "No, you're not just a specialist. You give people hope," Herman said suddenly, his voice full of emotion. "I honestly thought I could never be a doctor." "It's okay," Eva replied gently. "I think everything will work out. Let's try to work together." Herman looked at her with such gratitude that it warmed her heart. At that same moment, in the office next door, Artur Valerievich was sitting at his desk, but his mind was somewhere else. He felt like a puppet, being pulled by invisible strings. Across the big table from him sat Eduard Konstantinovich, a wealthy businessman. He looked relaxed in his chair, but his power was clear. With just one word, he could shut down the entire clinic. Ironically, he was also the sponsor who had helped get his stepson, Herman, into the program. "So, Artur, what do you think of my idea?" Eduard asked with a cold, empty smile. "It's not a bad setup," Artur said carefully. "I hope Herman does everything properly and overcomes his fear. Otherwise, well, I don't know how he'll survive in the business world. People will just hear him stutter." "Exactly," Eduard nodded. Artur tried to hide his irritation. "Still, I think Eva is a great specialist. She might really help Herman." "I hope so too," Eduard said with a slight smirk. "And don't forget what you promised her in your office. Just remember, Herman has a guaranteed place at the clinic. As for her, we'll see." Artur looked down, defeated. "Good," Eduard said. He stood up, walked to the window, and stared outside. "Everything in life has a price. And your clinic is no exception." "Yes, Eduard Konstantinovich," Artur replied quietly.
Great.
"Now, I want you to stay close to Herman. Support him. Do everything you can to make him the best. But if you can't..." He didn't finish his sentence.
He didn't need to.
Artur knew exactly what could happen if things went wrong. "I'll do my best," he said. "You better," Eduard replied coldly. "I did enough for that boy growing up. I won't baby him anymore. He doesn't have a mother. She died when he was about 7. That's when the speech problem started. But I raised him to be strong and smart." "Understood," Artur said quietly. "All right then. Goodbye." With that, Eduard walked out, leaving Artur Valerievich alone. The head doctor stood by the window and looked out at the hospital courtyard. He saw Eva walking across, deep in thought. "I hope you won't let me down," he whispered. "Because if this fails, we're all in trouble. Khmelevsky will ruin us." Meanwhile, Eva left the clinic feeling a bit strange. Herman was walking beside her. He was the rich man's son, the same one she had judged so quickly. But now he seemed completely different. To her surprise, he offered her a ride. Eva hesitated. She didn't want to accept help. But Herman seemed so sincere, she couldn't say no. "Eva, please, you look so tired." "Okay, thank you." They got into a taxi. Herman gave the driver the address. The ride was long, and to avoid the silence, Eva decided to start a conversation. "So, why did you choose hypnosis? For someone with your condition, that must be difficult." The taxi driver politely cleared his throat and turned up the music just a little, so it wouldn't feel like he was listening in on their conversation. "I didn't choose this," Herman said softly. "It's not my dream job." He looked down at his hands. "My mom, she was a doctor. She always wanted me to become one too. But then, she died in a car accident. I was with her in the car. Eva felt chills run down her spine. She shivered inside just thinking how terrible that must have been for such a young child. Is that when you started stuttering? She asked gently. Yes, Herman nodded. Since then, I haven't been able to speak properly. My stepfather, Eduard Konstantinovich, he never called me his son. He always said I was a burden. He raised me very strictly. While other kids were outside playing, I was home reading books and studying languages. I tried so hard to please him, but no matter what I did, it was never enough. Eva asked quietly, And your stepmother? Galina, does she support him? She didn't hurt me, Herman said. But she didn't love me either. She was always cold. She never looked at me like I was her son. Eva looked at him with sympathy. In his eyes, she saw pain, fear, and deep loneliness. She realized then that his stutter wasn't just a speech problem. It came from something much deeper. School is tough, Herman went on. The kids made fun of me all the time. I tried to stand up for myself, but I was too weak. I couldn't do anything. Listening to him, something shifted in Eva's heart. She no longer saw Herman as some spoiled rich guy. She now saw a wounded young man, someone who really needed support. But you graduated medical school with honors, she said. That's not easy. Yeah, Herman nodded. That's the one thing I could do. And the only thing my stepfather ever forgave me for. He said I was useless in business, but maybe I'd be useful in medicine. You know, Eva said softly, I'm really glad you told me this. I understand you better now. Thank you, Herman said with a smile, a real, honest smile. It made Eva's heart melt a little. Just then the taxi stopped. They got out and Eva noticed something strange. Herman, look, she said, pointing toward her front door. It's open. Herman's face instantly changed. He became alert and serious. Don't go inside, he said. There might be a burglar. Wait here. I'll check it out. He moved carefully toward the door, pushed it open slightly, then quickly stepped inside. Eva couldn't stay behind. She followed him. Inside, everything was a mess. Drawers were open, furniture was moved, and clothes were all over the floor. But the worst part was what they saw on the wall in the hallway. Written in bright red lipstick were the words, Loser. Lost your husband. You'll lose your job next. Eva was shocked. Who would do this? She asked. And how did they even get in? Herman checked the lock. I don't know. There's no sign of damage. Looks like they had a key. Eva was confused. My mother-in-law is at the dacha. She couldn't have done this. So who? I think we should call the police, Herman said firmly. This is serious. No. Eva shook her head quickly. I don't want anyone to know about this. Not even Dima. He worries too much. But, Herman started. No, really, she said. No police. I'll just call someone to change the locks. Herman looked at Eva with understanding. He could tell she didn't want others to know about her personal problems. Seeing there was nothing more he could do, he quietly said goodbye and left. Eva stayed behind, standing in the middle of the wrecked living room, staring at the message on the wall. She realized she'd have to deal with this on her own and find the strength to stand up, not just to her mother-in-law, but maybe someone else too. She started picking up the scattered things, trying not to think too much. But with every step, her anger and hurt kept growing. Who could have done this? Who could be so cruel? Suddenly, a knock on the door broke her thoughts. Eva tensed. Who's there? She asked carefully. It's me, Nina Pavlovna, came a familiar voice. Please open the door. Eva opened it to see her neighbor standing there, eyes low, shifting nervously. I wanted to tell you something, she said. I saw a woman go into your house today. At first, I thought you gave her the key, but when I peeked in later and saw the mess, I knew something was wrong. Eva's heart started racing. Can you describe her? She asked. I didn't see her face, Nina admitted. But she had long, dark, curly hair. She paused and added, Oh, Kolya, the boy from across the street, he was filming in the yard. He records everything with this little camera his dad gave him. It's tiny but expensive. Kolya loves filming. Eva felt a chill go through her. Without another word, she and Nina walked quickly to Kolya's house. Kolya was playing outside, too focused to notice them. "Hi, Kolya," Eva called. "Can I talk to you for a moment?" "Yes," he said, looking up. "You were filming in the yard yesterday and today, right?" "Yeah, both days," he smiled. "Dad said it was okay." "Kolya, can I please see the video?" Eva asked. "It's really important." The boy looked confused, but went inside and came back with the camera. Eva played the footage. After a few minutes, her heart sank. On the screen, she saw her close friend Katya. Katya looked around, pulled a key from her purse, and unlocked Eva's front door. Then she walked right in. Eva stared at the screen in disbelief. Her best friend? Was it Katya who ruined her dress and wrecked her home?
But why?
Without even finishing the video, Eva rushed off toward Katya's house, leaving a stunned Kolya still holding the camera. In her hurry, the heel of her shoe broke. She limped down the street, tears streaming down her face. She didn't even feel them. Her heart was pounding, her whole body shaking with betrayal and pain. Then she saw it, her husband Dima's car parked near Katya's house. The same car he claimed was left at a paid parking lot. Eva froze. Everything suddenly made sense. So this is where Dima spent his business trips. She walked up to the door and rang the intercom. "Who is it?" came Katya's voice. "It's me, Eva," she said, barely holding in her tears. "Eva? What are you doing here?" Katya sounded surprised. "Open the door," Eva said, louder this time. "Open it now. I know he's there. I know you're with my husband." A few seconds later, the door swung open, and there stood Dima, her husband, looking annoyed. He was wearing home clothes, and his face looked cold and distant. "Dima," Eva said, stuttering. "Please don't make a scene," he said calmly. "I've already made my decision." "So, you've decided that we're over?" Eva asked, barely holding back tears. "Yes," he replied, still calm. "It's over. Katya and I have been together for almost a year now, and you didn't even notice." "A year?" Eva couldn't believe it. "How could you? And Katya, you're supposed to be my friend." "Eva, stop it," Katya said as she stepped out, her face full of arrogance. "I love Dima and he loves me. What's your problem? We're all adults here. Go home. And sorry for the mess. I just couldn't help myself. I got tired of seeing your face every night." "Oh look," she added mockingly. She's speechless. "You've lost your husband, and soon you'll lose your job too." Eva couldn't take it anymore. She turned away, still limping from her broken heel. "I'm filing for divorce," she shouted, half turning back. Dima and Katya just laughed at her. She walked down the street crying, everything crashing down, her marriage, her job, her trust in people. She wondered if her late mother or grandmother could see her now. What would they tell her to do when everything is falling apart? Barely able to walk, Eva made it home. She sat on the couch, empty and numb, staring at nothing. Then her eyes landed on the phone. A sudden thought made her dial her mother-in-law's number. The ringing seemed to last forever. Finally, Klavdia Andreevna picked up. "Hello? Is something wrong?" she asked. "We're very busy here. I'm filing for divorce," Eva said, crying. There was a long silence. Then a quiet sob. "What are you saying? What happened?" "I saw Dima with Katya," Eva said. "They've been together a long time. She used a key Dima gave her, came into my house, ruined my clothes, and threw my things around. Is that normal?" Klavdia was silent for a moment, then spoke gently. "Eva, sweetheart, I know this is hard, but I have to tell you something. I'm the one who ruined your dress." Eva was shocked. "Why would you do that?" "I didn't want you to work at that clinic. From the beginning, I knew something was wrong. That Artur Valerievich, he's just a puppet. The real boss is Eduard Khmelevsky. He's a shady businessman, very dangerous. I was afraid you'd get caught in his trap." She paused, then continued. "Tatiana, his first wife, was my childhood friend. A kind girl from a good family. But Eduard, the son of an alcoholic and a criminal, tricked her. got her into politics. She got pregnant from someone else, but didn't want to be a single mom, so she married Edouard. Her grandfather, may he rest in peace, used to run the metallurgical plant. Big name, powerful family. Edouard even took her last name to hide his background. Everyone made fun of him, but he waited for his chance. Then Tatiana died in a car crash. Now he controls her entire business empire. Suspicious, right? He didn't even give his stepson a proper name, Claudia added. Eva was stunned. But I thought it was Katia who ruined my dress. No, Claudia said. That was me. I'm truly sorry. I should have told you everything earlier. But I was scared you'd hate me. Claudia Andreevna went quiet for a moment. Then, a little unsure, she said. But I bought you the exact same dress. It's in a bag at my summer house. You can come get it whenever you like. I just wanted to make it up to you. I feel so bad that you lost your favorite outfit. Please forgive me, and Dima, if you can. Eva was crying. She finally realized that her mother-in-law, who she once thought was cruel and jealous, was actually trying to protect her. I forgive you, Claudia Andreevna, she said quietly. My dear, thank you. I love you so much, her mother-in-law sobbed. They talked for a long time, and for the first time in days, Eva felt a bit better. After saying goodnight, she tried to sleep, but she couldn't. She tossed and turned all night, thinking about Dima, Katia, her mother-in-law, and Herman. She didn't know what the future held, but one thing was clear. She had to be strong. She had to prove she wasn't a victim. The next morning, Eva got up, took a shower, put on a business suit, and headed to the clinic. Herman was already there. Even though it was early, he looked tired. But his eyes showed determination. I'm glad you came, he said. I'm glad too. They went into Artur Valerievich's office. Good morning, colleagues, the chief doctor greeted them. Nice to see you both here. Let's get started. Your first task today is to speak with people struggling with anxiety and stuttering. Learn what they need and how you can help. Okay, Artur Valerievich. We'll take care of it, Eva replied. Great, he said. I'll wait for your report. Eva and Herman left the office and began making their rounds through the clinic. As they worked, Eva kept a close eye on Herman. She noticed something interesting. His stutter didn't happen all the time. When he was calm or talking about something he really cared about, he spoke smoothly. But the moment he noticed someone watching him, the stutter came back. After the round, Eva pulled him aside. Herman, I want to talk to you. I've got an idea. Okay, let's go, he said, trying not to stutter. I want you to come with me to the back room. I want to try an experiment. She said it like it was no big deal. Herman looked confused. What kind of experiment? I want to put you into a light, hypnotic state, to go back to the moment when your stutter first started. Maybe we can help reprogram your mind. They already tried that, Herman said nervously. Nothing helped. Eva looked at him kindly. For the first time, she switched to speaking to him informally. You say nothing worked before, but let's try again. And if it doesn't work the first time, we'll try another. I believe we can do this. He paused, then nodded. Okay, let's try. But please don't tell anyone. They went into a quiet room. Eva asked him to sit in a chair. She stood in front of him. First, relax. Take a deep breath, now exhale. Picture yourself in the most beautiful place on earth. You hear birds, smell flowers, and feel completely safe. Eva spoke in a soft, calm voice. Herman slowly closed his eyes. Within minutes, he was in a hypnotic state. Herman, she said gently, I want you to go back to the day you and your mom were in the car. What do you see? He started to tremble. His face showed pain. Tears rolled down his cheeks. My mom, she's smiling. She looks beautiful. But why is he coming to the car? Uncle Eddick is doing something under the hood. What is he doing exactly? Eva asked a little more firmly. I don't know. I can't remember, not clearly, wait. Suddenly, Herman opened his eyes. His expression was focused, and his voice came out clearly, without a stutter. I remember, he said. I know what my stepfather did. He wanted us to crash. He messed with the brakes. Eva felt chills run through her body. She understood that Herman had finally gone back to that day and learned the truth, thanks to her. "I think it's time to go to the police now," she said. "Yes," he replied. "I'll tell them everything. I need to make things right." The next day, Herman met with a lawyer. After hearing his story, the lawyer said there was a chance because crimes like that had no time limit. He started gathering evidence, and Herman, now feeling stronger, took action. The first thing he did was confront his stepfather. "Eduard Konstantinovich," he said, "I know what you did. You were the one who killed my mother. You wanted her money, and now I'm sure of it." The businessman looked stunned. "You've lost your mind," he shouted. "No," Herman said calmly. "I just remembered everything, thanks to someone who helped me. And now, for what you did, I'll take back everything you stole from me and my mother." Eduard tried to fight back, but Herman, with his lawyer's support, didn't back down. Eventually, with solid proof, Herman filed a lawsuit. Eduard lost everything. Meanwhile, Eva was preparing for her divorce. Dima acted smug, thinking he'd win. But with Herman and her mother-in-law supporting her, Eva was ready for anything. On the day of the court hearing, Eva showed up wearing a beautiful new dress, one her mother-in-law, Klavdia Andreevna, had given her. Katia saw it and looked shocked. She thought the dress was ruined and that Eva wouldn't dare wear it again. But Eva walked by with her head high. "Get ready to lose, loser," Katia hissed. It turned out she'd been jealous of Eva for a long time, but always kept it hidden. The trial went smoothly. Eva's lawyer presented strong evidence, and Dima had nothing to say. He lost. Since Eva was the mother of a young child, she got most of the shared property in the divorce. Outside the courthouse, Katia couldn't hold back. She screamed and tried to attack Eva. "This is all your fault," she shouted. But Herman quickly stepped in. "Back off," he said firmly, "or we'll have to call the police." "Who even are you?" Katia snapped. "I'm her future husband," Herman replied calmly. "And I won't let anyone hurt my fiancé." Katia froze, speechless, and backed away. After the trial, Artur Valerievich lost his position as head doctor since he no longer had Eduard's support. He handed the job over to Herman, who gladly accepted it. Under his leadership, the clinic started doing even better. Not long after, Herman and Eva got married. Eva's son, Maxim, was thrilled. He finally had a dad who was home every evening and truly cared. As for Dmitri, after the divorce, he began drinking heavily and soon lost everything. Every year on their wedding anniversary, Herman gave Eva a vintage dress to remind her that she was his queen. But for Eva, the real gift was knowing she had found true happiness.